This is your place for all things Grand Rapids Griffins and all things Toledo Walleye. This is the Hockeytown West Podcast with your host, Brandon Cook and Nick Harrington.
And welcome to the Hockeytown West Podcast, your source for everything Grand Rapids Griffins and Toledo Walleye hockey. I am one of your hosts, Brandon.
And I'm Nick.
And this is another one of those post-game episodes for the Griffins playoff games. This is where we kind of take the podcaster analysis hat off, put the fan hat on, and just talk about the game from the perspective of a fan. And what's the perspective tonight, Nick? How do we feel?
Oh, the vibes were so good. Like I had today off and it's been a struggle this week. And like my day off was just perfect. Like was productive, was able to get the things done, wasn't in a rush, very chill. Then I'm excited to go into the game tonight. And it was fantastic. The atmosphere, the environment, like I haven't been to a playoff game in 5 years, probably longer than that, to be honest. Yeah, it was 17.
Oh God, you're right.
So like the last playoff game I was at was a Wings playoff game. Yeah.
How did this compare to that experience for you?
Oh, besides the incident in the second period, everything was great. Like it was fantastic. I walked out of the arena today just breathless. Like I didn't know. I couldn't breathe. I literally couldn't breathe. And then you tackled me and I couldn't breathe again.
That did happen. 100% facts there. Yeah, if you haven't gathered by now, folks, the Grand Rapids Griffins took a 2-1 series lead in this series against the Rockford Ice Hogs, winning 4-3 in overtime in what is one of the wildest playoff games I've ever seen in person in my entire life. And I've been to quite a few, even just this year. Like, this is insane. I can't believe what happened tonight.
And to be able to be there and see it and like witness it. And like the crowd was nuts. Like I knew we were going to be able to elevate it a little bit, but like that was good. Like the crowd was in it. Everybody was there. I wish I had my disappointing part is I didn't get a towel. So I was kind of disappointed about that. I thought they'd be on the seats. Yeah, maybe the next game I can get one.
I'll rub mine in there for a second. I'll give you this one. It's an extra I have. Now I have two. So I got you, buddy.
You have two? Oh.
I do. I got my one from the game, first game too.
Oh,
but like
they ran out.
Hey now. But like you're right. Like the crowd, like when we recorded last time before we went unhinged, because that was a bad game, right? That was a bad game. And there's a lot of positives to talk about that were improved from that game. But you remember specifically I said the pregame video that they have Eric Zane on the concourse. Was I not wrong in the fact that video is just like perfect?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like they did a really good job of that. I don't know if that's something that they'd want to like keep that same video throughout or just like mix it up a little bit moving forward. But yeah, I mean like Zane did a really good job with that video.
Like the intensity of the playoffs is felt through that video. And there's been no moment in the regular season where before the team comes out, does the whole arena stand at once. And like you watch that happen. As soon as he says it in the video, if you just take a second to step back and watch, it happens. And it's just like you get chills. You're like, this is playoffs, baby. Here we go. They need to figure out how to reincorporate that video into the entire next season. Like that's step one of increasing fan experience to this whole new level that we want to see it get to. That's step one. And I absolutely love it. Like I want to watch that in the morning before I like go to work because that just gets me going.
You know, it reminded me of, so the COVID year was canceled and we became season ticket holders the year after. And like, I remember that video and like, I got them like, it was emotional. Like you could feel it because they're like, this is the first time we're able to have fans back. And like, they went through all that. And I was just like, yeah, like, we've been missing like the whole like our lives changed through that and like now we're back here, we're back in the barn, we've got hockey going on. Like it kind of reminded me of that, I guess.
I mean, that's fair to remind you of that too, because this is the first playoffs that we've had in Grand Rapids since that happened, like before that happened. So yeah, it's just a crazy feeling. I'm really proud of what the team has done to get the fans into it. Like even tonight was night and day difference from Wednesday. Like near the end of the game, having Go Josh Go, getting the crowd going too. Like they didn't do that Wednesday. That was brand new. I was like, this is awesome. Granted, by that time in the game, he did that tonight. Last game, it was ugly. So
It was
I
over.
get it. But at the same time, like all of that as a whole, like if you do that a little earlier, like start that in the first period, get him going like that, or get somebody on the mic going like that. It gets the people going, man. Playoffs is about the like the game on the ice, but also like the fan experience just as a group of fans is to a whole new level.
Yeah, and like the Wings do that. They bring their like a celebrity out or a professional athlete in the community to come out, and they do the goal horn in the beginning. Like something like that would be huge, I think. And then also, like, I mean, I'm sure you could find a Red Wings player that's here, like get him to do the horn. I know that's usually a fan thing, but like you've got connections. I'm sure there's somebody from Detroit here watching the games too, from the Wings. But they also kicked it off with the pig roast. Like
Yeah, that was
that,
cool too.
like that was good. We got the pork. It was good.
I did not. I was a little too late to get that. I saw that line and was like, no thanks.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Like the line, like it moved pretty fast.
Yeah, I had some other pregame arrangements to meet up with people and say hello before that. I was like, I can't do this. I'm already late. Here we go. But, normally we give the full recap of the game in the actual Griffins episode of the week, but we've got to go through it. So, quick rundown. Griffins win this one 4-3 in overtime, outshoot Rockford a total of 42-30. Both teams go 0-2 on the power play. But the scoring, man, like Marco Kasper gets us started off in the second. The first period goes by. Griffins outshoot Rockford 19-7, no goals. Drew Comesso stood on his head, and the shot opportunities at that point, we just couldn't finish. Like you got like the start was good, the finish was but Marco Kasper started us off. It was 24 seconds into the second period. I was still in the beer line, and I was like, am I allowed to go sit down now? I missed the goal. Am I the curse? Like, what do I do here? Eventually we figured that out, but that was assisted by good old Dom Shine and Simon Edvinson there. Rockford did answer back in the second period there near the end. It was a tie game going into the third. Come out in the third, 57 seconds in. Austin Zarnik, Mr. Playoffs is about to be what I call him because he's a beast in these playoffs. Assisted by Giannis and Berggren and Rafferty. He gets us on the board, gets us the lead, and then welcome back Elmer Soderblom. Gets his first of the playoffs, 9 minutes, 25 seconds into the period, assisted by Dom Shine and Joel Esperance. That right there, I was like, this is incredible. Holy crap, he did it. What a goal it was.
Yeah, it was.
And then somehow, within the last 5 minutes of the game, Rockford comes back and ties this. The first goal, I'm like, Coast might want that one back, but okay. The second goal, it happened so fast, I couldn't tell what happened, but all I know is Kosa looked up at Edvinson next to the crease. He looked pissed, slammed his stick, and on we went. I would have to go back and watch it a couple of times to figure out if it was a missed assignment. If he was screened by Edvinson, that was a problem in the regular season that we know about. But at that point, the game's tied, and we head to overtime for the second time in the series. And who else but Giannis Berggren gets us the game winner, his second of the playoffs, his second overtime winner of the playoffs. Assisted by Carter Mazer. Mazer comes in, gets the shot off. It bounces off Comesso's pads. Bergie is there to clean it up. And what a celly. And that arena erupted.
Yeah, I at first, like, I'm on the other end of the arena. I can't remember where you were at. I'm on the other end of the arena, and they go through, and I thought Mazer scored. And I started laughing. Me and Maria, like, I look over at Maria. I started laughing. She goes, "What?" I'm like, we just dogged Mazer on the last episode so bad. And here he comes, big time playoff appearance, like scores the game winner. Like, good for Mazer. Like, I gotta eat my words, which is fine. I'll do it. I'll make my apology. And then I see it through the highlights later of he hits the goalpost, comes back out, and Bergie finishes it in. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like the guy's in the right spots, the right time. Like there he is. So huge on Bergie, like to do it twice now against Rockford. And the play was kind of similar to game one of there was a collision, I guess you could say, and took our player down, and we keep playing, and the puck ends up in the back of the net again. So play to the whistle, boys.
Play to the whistle, boys. But yeah, that's how the goals go there. Sebastian Cossa stops 27 of 30. Drew Comesso stops 38 of 42. What a game for him. Stauber starts the series off and Grand Rapids beats him in overtime. Comesso comes in game 2, has an outstanding game. And even with this result, has an outstanding game. Like on the road for Rockford, he's an incredible goaltender. Like I was so frustrated by him all night, which means he did a great job. So credit to him where credit is due. I've got to call that out. Coase, great bounce back game tonight. Like I said, only one of the goals that got past him, I think, is really his fault. Rockford's second goal that bounced off the glass behind him. Or was that the third goal? One of the two. It was the second. It was the second goal. It bounces off the glass behind him and bounces right over the net while he's already down. And Rockford guy bats it in. It looked like a high stick almost, but then you watch the replay and he executed that perfectly.
That was the first. I think that was the first goal.
First goal, whatever it was. That unfortunate bounce right there. I was like, oh,
yeah,
poor Coase. That sucks.
The second goal was the Vollander. Vollander lost his stick. He goes to they all start to go to make a line change and they try to pass it to him, but he doesn't have a stick and nobody's handing him a stick. And so then Rockford gets it and shoots it to the guy that's wide open on the right side, left side. And he puts it in. It's just like, come on, just a misassignment that sucks. And then that third one, like they get it right back, they get it right away. And I'm just like, the air kind of deflated a little bit. And I'm just like, this is going to be a close game. Like I thought we were looking good going in 3-1. I'm like 2-1, 3-1. I thought this was going to be a close game and Costa looked good. Costa looked really good tonight.
Looked so good. Even getting ran over twice. First one was Zarnik's fault. He did push the Rockford player into him. He bounced up. He was just fine. The second one, I wanted to come unglued. I was pissed.
The team came unglued. Everybody started fighting everybody.
Well, yeah, let's break that play down. Brett Sini comes in and he's getting defended hard. I don't know if it was Edvinsson or Johansson at the time that was on him. And he kind of spins off the defender, but makes no attempt to slow down and drives right into Cossa. And it was a bad collision. Like that was a point where I winced. I'm like, uh-oh, is he good? And of course, he's a big, tough dude. He's back up on, at least halfway up, and he's good. Simon Edvinsson, though, he did not like that. As soon as Sini got back up, he grabbed a hold of him and then almost MMA style again, took him right down, which is why he got a roughing call. Sini did get called for the goaltender interference. Simon did take the extra penalty there. It's one of those extracurricular ones where we're like, come on, bro, is that too much? But at the same time, that's sticking up for your teammate. That's sticking up for your goalie. I 100% support the decision he made at that point in time. That was no wires crossed. He was pissed. And then, God, the journeyman, Berggren Rafferty, the next shift that Sini's on the ice, Rafferty skating to the faceoff circle, bumps into him first. And I was like, uh-oh. And as soon as the puck was dropped, Rafferty just battles him, but then drops him. No call made. Like that was good playoff officiating right there at that point. Because the run into Cossa could have honestly been called a major for interference. It could have been called a major and looked at afterwards. But Rafferty going in there, sticking up for him, showing that, hey, don't touch my goaltender. And guess what? After that, Rockford got nowhere near Cossa. Cassini's one of their top dogs. He's a good scorer. He's also rough and tough. He can draw penalties. Rafferty just dropping him like that set the tone for the rest of the game there. The boys were fired up. The bodies were getting thrown. That was playoff hockey. That was the moment we all looked at each other where we were sitting and we were like, this is playoffs. The first period, we were dominating, but at the same time, not really. It was really just kind of lost. Those 19 shots, most of them weren't quality. That second period, though, that's where the playoffs finally felt like we're here.
Yeah, the first time he got ran by Sarnik, I was like, no, everybody needs to go after that guy. I don't care. At first, I'm like, you got to stick up for your goalie. I always revert back to that time that Vasi got ran into in Tampa, and you watch all 4 Tampa players just turn around and go after that player. That's what I was, and I was like, why isn't anybody sticking up for Costa? I don't care if Sarnik ran into him. I don't care. And then to see it happen again, and then Simon took care of it. Like everybody kind of went to his defense. Like I was happy about that. Like you guys stick up for your goalie. Don't touch our goalie. Like that's a huge thing. So I was glad to see that, come into it on that end to be able to do it.
It was one of those moments where it finally felt like the team came together in the playoffs. Like all of a sudden, everyone had the mission. It was don't let them touch him and destroy anybody that's near him. And they did a great job of it. I don't know if you caught this, but I caught this. It was between the whistle. I think it was after the Rafferty play in a media timeout. Kosa and Cini crossed paths getting to the bench. And Kosa immediately started talking down to him. Because obviously he's much taller than Cini. Cini's a small guy.
Yeah.
And he was immediately talking down to him, and he was talking smack. It wasn't like oh, hey, or like I'm all good or whatever. There was some words exchanged. But it was even funnier is the next time out after that, someone was running their mouth at Edvinsson, and he did his classic like kneel down half a foot because that's what he has to do, and then smile while they were doing it. I was like, that's the attitude I've been missing for the first 3 games of the series. Like, let's go, or 2 games, sorry. First 2 games of the series. I was like, let's go. This is fantastic. Like, I hope that spark carries forward. If they figure out how to take that energy into the next game, this is done on Sunday in Rockford. This is good.
Yeah, and hopefully it is, because then we're off for a bit. So get the guys to regroup. Nice. Like, and the one thing we didn't mention, like the lineup tonight was a little different.
Yeah, before we get there, let's send it over to DraftKings because this is a shorter episode. We'll send it over to them, and then we'll talk about the lineup and a couple other guys that really stood out tonight. So, Nick, go read the ad.
In Spanish?
If you could, I'd be impressed.
The chase for the Stanley Cup is on, and if you're looking to light the lamp, nothing beats the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. From the start of playoff periods all the way to hoisting of the cup, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boost, and so much more. Unfortunately, the Wings didn't make the playoffs, so I'll be betting on the Dallas Stars at a plus 1,200 to win the cup. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code THPN. New customers can bet $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code THPN. The crowd is yours. Problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467369. In Connecticut, help and go for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Will Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. cdkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
And we're back. All right, so you mentioned it. The lineup was different tonight. It threw us for a loop before the game started. Kind of. But at the same time, we understood it, I think, more than most people did because we've seen this before. So
you've seen a lot.
Yeah. So Dan Watson decides to go 11-7 tonight. 11 forward, 7D. Matt Luff comes out of the lineup. Tyler Spezia comes out. Elmer Soderblom does come back in. First game back after his illness that took him out for quite a while. Josiah Didier, her captain, ends up back in on defense. The other defenders stayed the same. And going 11-7 randomly throughout the regular season has worked so well for this team when we decided to randomly do it. And tonight was one of those nights where I felt like it was really important to get Didier back in the lineup. Like, I know Wings fans are like, he's just an AHL guy. He brings so much more to the table than just that. His leadership, but also like his grit. Like, there was a post that is on our Twitter page where I said, big save Kosa. And someone corrected me because in real time, it looked like a Kosa save. Nope, it's a Didier skate save in front of Kosa. Doesn't even wince at it. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of trying to lead you guys there on the last pod of the last episode of, okay, so if we put Didier in, who are we taking out? If we're going to put Elmer in, who are we going to put in? Like, I could see us going to 11-7, and it helps with the matchups too. And it did. Like, we were able to exploit. We were able to put the Lombardi-Soderblom connection has been good all season, and that was good. The Shine Casper Aston Reese line was absolutely amazing. That was probably one of my favorite lines tonight. And then Mazur, Sarnik, and Bergie. Like they've been doing their thing. So like it was so smart for him to revert back to this 11-7, I thought.
I would be down for it happening again on Sunday, honestly. I loved it. I loved everything about it because it just gives you so much flexibility.
Oh, yeah.
And Rockford really didn't know how to combat it. Like, they didn't understand it. It was weird.
I'd have to look and see, but I feel like we had to have at some point in the season go 11-7 against them because we were doing this a lot.
For sure that happened at some point. I did love seeing Shine and Aston Reese. Like that. Put Shine, Lesby, Aston Reese back together. Put those guys together again. It works so well. Also, I don't know how much you noticed it tonight. Joel Esperance deserves so many kudos for how much he was battling in front of the net to keep guys out of Costa's sight line. Like, he was battling tonight. I was so happy to see what he was bringing to the table.
That on the defensive end, and then on the offensive end, like, he was so patient with the puck and passing. Like, that Elmer goal was like, he held that puck and made sure that Elmer got in that position and was able to feed it over to him. Like, I don't know. It's just Lesby has stood out so much this season, and like, this game really was a combination of like, okay, you've got your kids that are put up goals. Casper put up the first goal. So you get the young guy. Lombardi put up the goal the other night. Bergie's put up 2. And then you've got your young guy, you've got your veterans of Dominic Shine. Just like, was literally all over the place. Lesby's carrying it. Aston Reese was carrying lines tonight. Like, you're getting something from everybody tonight. Like, it was a full team effort. Like, this is what we've been wanting. This is what we've been looking for. This is why we called everybody out last episode.
Yeah, I mean, we were unhinged and pissed off last episode, but the boys should have been pissed off after that too. Like, if they weren't having those own conversations within the room themselves, like, that's a concern. But clearly, almost everything we complained and whined about last episode was fixed tonight. Like, I know it's not us fixing it. It's obviously our great coaching staff identifying it at the same time, but like, they were all pissed. Like, there's no way you come out of that game feeling good. Tonight, they should feel good. That bus ride to Rockford tonight is going to be a really positive one, and hopefully it doesn't take 6 hours like last time. But at the same time, like, just tonight should just be a feel good for these guys. They need to just carry that feel good positivity into this next game and run with it.
Yeah, and it would be smart if they left tonight, to be honest. That way they can.
I think they were, because I saw the pregame photos and Mazur had his pillow with him, so I'm assuming they're going tonight. Like, it makes total sense. Get there tomorrow, get the skate in, get some good sleep, and then be ready to go, because it's an afternoon game at 5 o'clock Eastern time, 4 o'clock Central time on Sunday. So, yeah, I think that was great. Another guy I've got to call out, man. I'm wearing his jersey right now. That's another reason I got to call him out. But Radim Šimik, dude, defensively, he's just so calm. There's so many chaotic moments around him tonight where I'm like, oh my God, he's going to turn it over here. Then just gets it out. There was one point specifically I remember where the Griffins ended up getting trapped in their end for a good 3 minutes, and then the puck got iced. But the one defenseman standing out, at least getting it to center to get a breath for a second, was Šimik, always. And there's moments there where you're like, he could have easily made the mistake of clearing it and taking a delay of game, with just how gassed the guys were at that point. And he just put the puck in the right place every time. But outside of that, just making really good defensive plays all night.
And then on the offensive side, he's got the stretch passes. Like, he was getting it out of the end. He was setting up the guys that were open on the other side, on the switch side of the ice. Like, I mean, it was fantastic. Like, that's what I noticed a lot of on my end tonight was his passing. It was fantastic.
His passing has been something that's been like the high point since he's got here for me. Like, his passing is so crisp. But speaking of stretch passes, there was a Tuomisto stretch pass in the first period to Zach Aston Reese, where Aston Reese couldn't close the deal on Comesso, unfortunately. But like, watching from the end I was at that time, I could see the path he took clearly. Tuo passed that through like 4 guys and got it onto Aston Reese's stick, who was wide open and walked in on a breakaway. I was like, how the hell did he do that? That was incredible. And like, again, another night where he wasn't panicking either at any single point in time. Another crisp pass from him, a little aggressiveness from him tonight. I was like, all right, I like what I'm seeing from 2-0 here. The lineup was honestly perfect tonight. The 2 goals that Rockford got at the end of the third, I don't understand what happened there, and I'm not going to just like read into it. Playoffs are weird. Voodoo magic happens. A bunch of missed calls happen. Grady Hamilton, looking at you, buddy. I gave you kudos last time, and now you're here again. Here we go. But like at the same time, the Griffins stayed calm. They kept their emotions in check, except for when Edmondson threw a guy on the ground, but it was entirely understandable why he did it, and I fully support it. But outside of that, like they played the game they're supposed to play. And keeping those emotions in check is important. And this is, again, where we got to revert back to where we said going into the playoffs, we were extremely concerned about Berggren being able to do that. There was multiple times tonight where he had guys all over him. He got taken down behind the net once, and he got up. He gave a little tiny shove, but it was nothing else. And then the whistle happened. And it was like he got his face rammed into the boards when this all happened. I saw it right in front of me. And after the whistle happened, he looked at the guy, went back, and made some like stupid facial expression. He's like, my face, holding it back. And that's it. That's all he did. I was like, Bergie, thank you. Well done.
I saw him a few times after the whistle chirping the refs. I was trying to figure out if it was the refs or if it was the players or what. But yeah, he had some words to say.
I think sometimes when he's talking to the refs, he might actually be like legitly talking to the refs. Like those guys communicate a lot. I even noticed after the win today, I think it was Aston Reese went up to the refs and said something, but it was a very good conversation. It wasn't like a bad thing. I mean, again, it's the playoffs. There's going to be calls missed on each side. I thought like game 1, we got away with a lot more than Rockford did. Game 2 was called very evenly. And game 3, Rockford got away with a lot more than we did tonight. Like, when Shine got called for slashing there in the third, I was like, you called that? We watched Aston Reese's stick explode in game 1 in front of the net and nothing was called. But again, it's the playoffs. I get it. But the Griffins found a way around it and to rise up against it. And that's what I liked. And I was really happy to see no calls in overtime because there was stuff on each side that could have been called, but they called it fairly. If you're going to let it all go, let it all go. They did a good job managing that.
I was super surprised about the Mazer cross-check to the face in the first period at center ice. That's about that didn't get called. I was like, wow, okay. I mean, it's playoff hockey. They're going to let things go both sides, both ways. Like, it's fine. Like, I understand the game now changes. I think a lot of fans also need to realize that too. Like, they're going to let things go. And we want them to let things go, to be honest with you. Because if they do, we play more of our style. We play more of our way. So
exactly. I mean, listen, we were critical of Mazer in the last episode. Me specifically, I was very negative about his gameplay. Carter, well done tonight. You came back. You bounced back well. That the cross check to the face, sure, it could have been called, but at the same time, that's the aggression I'm looking for from him. Like he wasn't taking anybody's shit at that point. Like that's what I like to see. Granted, don't maybe cross check people to the face every time, but don't let people walk all over you either. You're bigger, you're stronger, you're faster than all of them, and you're more skilled than 99% of them. Well, let that be on display and run with it.
I mean, to me, I just remember him getting elbowed to the face one of the last games with Rockford. So I'm like, you know what? It's his payback. It's his retaliation. I'm okay with it. They didn't call that one. They're not going to call this one. We're good.
Yeah, 2-0 took a nasty elbow to the face tonight too. That didn't get called, but I digress. But yeah, that's I think that pretty much wraps up. I mean, I'm proud of the whole team tonight. Like I walked out of that arena. You posted that video on Twitter. Everyone's chanting, "Let's go Griffins." Everybody lost their mind when they scored that winning goal. Like that was some Detroit level stuff right there. Oh, and also got to point out, we had a moment tonight where there was a Kosa chant. Like, that's what I needed in my life right there for the fans to finally understand what this young man's bringing to the table.
We had a Kosa chant. We had 2 octopus on the ice.
We got to talk about the octopus.
Like it was fantastic.
We had an octopus to start the game after the anthem. Loved that. And then I think it was midway through the third, we had one get tossed on the ice. One of the ice crew guys goes and gets it. As he's skating back with it, our Zamboni driver, I wish I knew his name fully. I'll figure it out one of these days. He yanks it out of his hands and does a full walk around the crease, slinging that thing in the air like Al would do back in Detroit in the old days. And that's the moment where I said, we are so back. Like, we are back, baby.
It just the vibes are so good tonight. Just so freaking good. I'm so excited for game 5. I'm hoping to see this and we clear it out and we have more playoff hockey coming. Because I think it's
Yeah,
just gonna get better as we continue to go through, like the next round, and the next round, like all the way through. I'm so excited.
it's just so reminiscent of the 2013 year, man. It really is. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't want to make
excited.
that comparison, but
I mean, it's been thrown out there before on this podcast, you know.
it's been thrown out there before, not just on this podcast, by a lot of people. Bob says it all the time that this team reminds him so much of that. And it's funny too, because I remember back then, Jeff Hogan, the captain at the time, not starting the first couple of games, then coming back in and being a key piece. And then you see Didier pop in the lineup tonight, and you're like,
That's weird.
damn it, they're doing it. Here we go again. And if it does, it's going to be an emotional roller coaster, but the end result could be greatness. Like, I'm so proud of the boys. Like, this is just one of those nights where I can't stop smiling. I can't stop feeling good. I'm so excited going into this weekend. To top that all off, we get back to the car tonight and find out Brandon Hawkins wins it in Toledo in overtime in game 1 and round 2, just like he did in round 1. And it's funny enough that
that shot was nasty too.
it was nasty. And it's funny enough that we were in the elevator in the parking garage, and I said, what if he does it again in game 1, just like he did last round? And literally got in the car, drove out of my space, and we get the text from good old Travis that says Hawkins in overtime. And I'm like, son of a bitch, here we are. I love this team. I love both these teams.
Now hopefully tomorrow they can take the 2-0 series win or 2-0 series lead.
Yeah. I mean, anybody that saw me tonight at the game when that OT winner hit, like, I jumped around like a little kid, man. Like, that's the most happy I've been in a long time. And like, everything we've been doing lately for this podcast has been a grind. I mean, it's 1:13 in the morning, technically on Saturday morning here, and we're doing this episode right now.
It's our 4th one.
And I'm not even mad about it. And it's our 4th episode in 4 days, and I'm not even mad because of what we saw. Like, the boys are out there giving it our all. Hell, we're going to go out here and give it our all too.
Yeah.
I love it. And granted, their job's a lot harder than ours. We just talking to a mic like morons. But,
yeah.
And to speak on that too, like, we dropped a contest today on Twitter for one of the replica Flying Toasters jerseys. And the overwhelming love and support that this podcast got from that today. Guys, everyone listening, that made us feel so good. Oh.
Sealed, still replica.
Yes. Like, that made us feel so good, guys. Like, there was multiple comments today of people saying they just started listening, they love us, or not love us, sorry. They just started listening and they love the show.
They love you.
And no. And like, just stuff like that, man. Like, we look at this and we go, we're nobody. We just do this for fun. And then people actually like saying those things, give a fist bump at the arena, stuff like that. Like, that means the world to us. We don't make money doing this. We literally do this for fun and to share the love of these teams that we cover and getting more fans bought in. Like, we want to feel like we're part of the reason that more people show up to these games, spend their hard-earned dollars to go support these teams that are just incredible, that put it all out there. And today was one of those feel-good days. So to everyone from the bottom of my heart, and I know Nick agrees with me here, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Go Griff. Go Walleye.
Yeah. Thank you, Nick. Yeah. Thank you for your piece there. I appreciate it.
No, like it was crazy to see the growth today, and it was fantastic. And the jersey's going to somebody that is actually out of state who wants a Griffins jersey. Like, they posted that they were looking for one a couple of days ago. So it's kind of crazy how it worked out. And yeah, like, it just, to see the growth and to see everything changing, it's fantastic. So thank you guys so much. And yeah. I don't know.
And the more of that we see, the more it drives us to do more. Like, we have some cool stuff coming. We've got some other stuff in the works. It takes some learning, so give us time. We have day jobs. Like, I got to learn a couple new skills in editing and all that fun stuff, but we'll get there. We got some cool stuff planned, especially for the off season. I think this off season is going to be a lot of fun for us and keep us really relevant and keep people wanting to tune in because we've got some cool stuff in the works. And hopefully we got a deep playoff run here to keep everyone else entertained, because ideally we want to do one of these after every single playoff game. I know it's going to suck. Again, it's 1 a.m. and we're doing this right now, but it's worth it. It's worth it for all you guys. We appreciate it. And again, thank you. So with that, Nick, do you have any other final thoughts for this episode?
I mean, how could we not record after a game winning?
Dude, how do we not?
From Bergie. I'm like, you're like, oh, I'm tired, Nick. I'm like, no, we have to. Like, the vibes are so good today. We need to do this. Like, let's go. I know you can edit in the morning tomorrow. Like, let's just get
this is getting tonight. This is going out tonight, man. There's a grind here. We got to keep going.
I'm excited. I'm so happy. I'm ready for Saturday. I'm ready to watch the Walleye at home, see how this team performs. Hopefully we can get there for a playoff game, because I know that is like one more level higher than what we saw tonight.
What do you mean we? I've been there.
Me and Maria. Okay.
There you go. Hopefully we can make something happen here soon. I've got a good feeling about it.
I got a feeling.
On that note, thank you everyone for tuning in to this fan reaction that did turn into a little bit of analysis, but still a fan. Whatever this is, I don't care what it is anymore. Go Griffins, man. This is beautiful. God dang. Thank you everyone for tuning into this. Shout out to our sponsors, Everything Hockey. Go to everythinghockey.com, use code WEST, save $3 off your entire order. Also, our other sponsor, DraftKings, make sure you're using code THPN your first time betting with them. And shout out to the Hockey Podcast Network for being great partners with us. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Nick, for doing this at 1 a.m. And everybody, have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Go Griffins. Go Walleye. And we will talk to you all on Monday, most likely.
Go Brandon Hawkins.
Yeah, baby.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Hockeytown West Podcast. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at HockeytownWPod, and your host, Nick at GR Hockey Guy, and Brandon at BrandonGR Hockey.